This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Here's something no one's ever told you before. Motivation is the enemy of creativity. Let's be honest, being creative is great, but being creative doesn't automatically mean you'll sit down and paint every day. In fact, the more creative you are, the easier it is to procrastinate, overthink, and wait for the perfect time to start. You tell yourself, I'll paint later. I don't have time right now. I'll do it when I feel inspired. And then later turns into tomorrow, and then into next week, and then into never. Sound familiar? Trust me, I've been there. But here's the thing, you don't need motivation, what you need is momentum. Let's get into it. First, know when you are enabling laziness. Sometimes we convince ourselves we don't have time or we aren't in the mood. And while these might sound like valid excuses, they're probably not. They're actually just you being lazy. Here's my simple rule. If I have time to sit on my phone for 30 minutes, I have time to paint for 10 minutes. And 10 minutes is the secret here. You don't need a perfect plan, you don't need to be inspired. All you need is 10 minutes and the determination to actually start. I used to wait until I was inspired to paint, but then I realized it just wasn't happening. I recently bought a historic home, and doing all of the research into how I can transform this house back to its former glory has been so much more fun and interesting than painting my golden demon piece. And I've been especially enjoying Victorian home makeovers on TikTok. So instead, I made a rule. If I can look at my phone for 20 minutes, then clearly I have time to paint. Next is setting tiny goals. Your first goal can be, I only need to paint for 10 minutes. But you could go deeper and say, I need to finish painting the stones on this base within 10 minutes. And why is 10 minutes our goal? Because it sounds easy. Instead of saying, I need to finish this model today, we are focusing on something that seems manageable. And that's when the magic happens. When your 10 minutes are up, you will probably want to keep painting. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. Your brain hates leaving things unfinished, making you naturally want to keep working. Then, once you hit that tiny goal, your brain releases dopamine and you'll feel even more motivated to keep painting. This 10-minute rule helps you trick yourself into starting, and then momentum will carry you forward. But before we continue, let's talk about Squarespace's newest design features. You know I love Squarespace, so I'm so excited about their new design intelligence, which empowers anyone to build a beautiful custom website and digital identity using cutting-edge AI tools. Combine that with Squarespace Payments, the easiest way to manage all your transactions in one place, and of course, my favorite flexible design templates with drag and drop features. Squarespace is a no-brainer for creating your perfect website. When you're ready to start, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use code LYLAMEV to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. All right, back to painting. Another way to think smarter, plan before you paint. Have you ever sat down, looked at your miniature, and realized you have no idea what you're going to do? That can be a first step to procrastination. Instead, take 5 minutes before you start painting and pick your colors, decide on your small goal, and think what techniques you want to practice. I don't like painting bases, it just doesn't come naturally to me. There are just so many options, I never know where to start. So I like to sit down and look at previous Golden Demon entries or previous Necromunda entries to try to get inspiration and a general idea of where I want to go before I start painting. However, don't use this as further procrastination, which is absolutely something that I do. The goal of this step is to help you start painting, and if you don't get to that point, then you're still just wasting time. Keep your planning stages to 5 to 10 minutes separate from your painting 10 minutes. The most important part of this process is to put brush to the model. One of the biggest creativity killers, expecting perfection. If you sit down painting thinking this has to be good, I can't make mistakes, or what if I mess up? you'll be too scared to start painting. Perfectionism isn't just about high standards, it's a trap. It paralyzes you, keeping you from taking risks, experimenting with new ideas, and actually starting the painting process. For my Golden Demon entry, I'm sitting down and starting with the base first. Starting with something as low stakes as the base gets me painting, and once I'm actually in the mood and excited to paint, then I can start working on the actual important parts of the model. If you're afraid of making mistakes, you'll hesitate to start. But mistakes are how you learn and improve. Constantly critiquing your work while you're creating interrupts the natural process. So don't second guess every brush stroke. Just let ideas flow. The best painters didn't improve by painting one perfect model. They improved by painting dozens of imperfect ones. For you, start with a trash model, a model or mini that you don't care about. Experiment on it, make mistakes, have fun with zero pressure. You'll be surprised with how much you learn. But most importantly, this is what I wish someone would have told me earlier. Starting is better than waiting for the right moment. Your painting will not magically turn out perfect on the first try. And the longer you wait, the longer it will take you to reach that perfect miniature. I have never painted rust before, and it is something I have been putting off. But if I don't start, I have no way of knowing if I can do it or not. Sure, perhaps painting rust for the first time on a competition piece isn't a good idea. But the most important thing is that I'm not putting it off for any longer, even if that's because I literally can't put it off for any longer. Every mistake gets you closer to your vision, and every mistake is just a sign of you learning. If you keep going, eventually those mistakes will start to turn into skills. So stop waiting for perfection, stop waiting for motivation, just start. Even if you don't finish, you're still making progress. So if you're creative but lazy, here's what to do. Recognize when you're enabling laziness. Work smarter, not harder. Set tiny goals. Plan before you paint. And lastly, just start, even if you don't finish. If you follow these steps, I promise you'll paint more, stress less, and actually enjoy the process. I'm going to be at Adepticon this year, and if you see me, please come say hi. It's literally my favorite part of going to Adepticon. If you like what I do, you can support me on Patreon, where you can get access behind-the-scenes content, join my bi-weekly live streams, and get one-on-one feedback from me. You can also buy this awesome t-shirt following the links in my description box. If nothing else, you can use my Amazon affiliate links down below in the description. Seriously, just click on any of the links, go to Amazon, and then buy whatever you want. It doesn't cost any extra for you, it's just a little bit for me. Alright, I hope you are doing well. I look forward to seeing you at Adepticon. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.